It's another day in the office. I've been warming up, so approach with caution. Yeah, up the heat, no cold feet, I'm locked in. Go against me, you might need a coffin. Where's the competition? Cause I don't see none. Matter of fact, there'll be none, so y'all can run the rerun. Show you how to work, I roll the sleeves up on my...
Hey, Kenny MacAskill, it's nice to see you. And you're now the captain of the ship Alaba. And so, how's things going?
Well, it's obviously a position I never sought, and it came about through tragic circumstances, but we owe it to Alex's memory to deliver his dream. So we've steadied the ship. I think the sun is out. We're going to see an increased turnout. I'm actually just saying that I think the movement's been a bit like a bear in hibernation. We've been told to, some shamefully telling us to stop marching, stop doing these things. It's been a difficult time, but the sun's out, the movement's rising again. It'll take us a while to get back to where we were before, but the need is great. England is heading towards a reformed Tory government, and if we don't get out the UK, then the deindustrialisation that we've seen shamefully starting in Grangemouth is only going to worsen. So onwards and upwards, and the dream will be delivered.
Built it from the ground, I had to rise from out the dirt.
Watch this, I'ma show you how I do it.
And how's Under One Banner faring? Because there's been a lot of change, isn't there, with everything. Neil left you, and I saw Carol the other day, but they've gone out of the picture.
Basically, it's a lot of the old ones that's still there. I mean, Sean's been there for the very beginning. I was there, then I took a wee break, and then I come back. We've got Derek, we've got Keir, who's been there for a long time, and we've got Gordon, who's been there for quite a while. So it's kind of the same, but we're promoting unity. I mean, without unity,
nothing. Yeah. Stick together, especially in the upcoming 2026 election. We need hope for this. The Labour Party has all the promises that they broke. Basically, the Tory Party were a different colour. That's it. So we need a wee, England to grow.
And tell me, how's your fundraising going?
great.
Fantastic. We were actually worried that we wouldn't get this, but we were needing, but we overshot it. I think we were about 111 quid.
Yeah.
So that took a lot of pressure off us.
And we also got it before it even ended.
Yeah.
So it was really good.
Because people don't actually realise all these things do cost a lot of money. You can't just do it, can you?
Well, for example, we actually did quite a good deal in the toilets for Glasgow this year. It was £1,000 for toilets. Then we've got Section 89s because of the restructuring of the stage, 350 quid. And then we've got the stage, the PA, or the rest of it. It's a lot of money. It does cost a lot of money.
But no, it went really well.
Really, really pleased. Thanks to everybody who donated.
Like a pro, gotta hustle, get through it. No sweat, look good when I'm moving.
My name's Thomas MacArthur. I'm a songwriter, poet, chef, security guard and independent supporter, and we're looking forward to the day we become independent. So we're trying to get there, and hopefully this march is going to be a fantastic march today. The weather's fantastic. After yesterday we reform. I'm hoping that Scotland, the people will come out to show their support and independence.
And who are you?
My name's Ghislaine. I'm a musician, but not a fighter. But and I'm looking forward to Scotland being independent as well. I think we need to do it. It's time for the country to rise up and claim it back.
I'ma rise and this will do it. Watch this, I'ma show you how I do it.
I'm a member of the Scottish Socialist Party, and we're a campaigning party, and we want independence, but I personally want a socialist republic, independent socialist republic.
Like a pro, gotta hustle, get through it. No sweat, look good when I'm moving.
I'm not a member of a political party, but I remain committed to the movement and to the cause, which is why I'm one of the founding members of Independence for Independence. And our view is that next year we run the Holyrood election as the referendum de facto on independence. Our opinion is people should be encouraged, whether they're members of a political party or not, to stand for election. But given the level of dissatisfaction and pure scunnerment, if there's such a word, that folk have got with party politics in the main, perhaps the time has come in Scotland for independent candidates to stand for independence and make sure that we get a majority in the Scottish Parliament for that independence.
Now, to get the independence come about, we really have to unite, don't we? How are we going to do that?
Well, everybody has to unite under that banner. You know, Scotland united will never be defeated, and there is nothing that Westminster fears more than when the people of the Scottish independence movement do speak with one voice. Now today Kenny MacAskill has written on behalf of the ALBA party to John Swinney and to the other independence parties asking for unity and stressing, with 80,000 children in Scotland in abject poverty, with the recent closure of the Grangemouth refinery, leaving us the only oil producing country in the world that doesn't have its own refinery. Clearly that slogan, Scotland free or a desert, has never resonated more loudly than it does now. The rise of reform in England should be an abject lesson to the people of Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland, because there is no place for extremism, but those people who were elected for reform were elected democratically, albeit as the result of particularly low turnouts. Between 9 and 30% is what turned out to vote in England, and that demonstrates the voter apathy that we're very, very well aware of here in Scotland, where our turnouts in local authority elections have been pitifully poor too. People need to be engaged in politics, and the way to engage people in the Scottish independence campaign is to chart a path and show what the path is to independence, and not be begging for independence. The ethos of Indie for Indie is that we will take our independence because the Scots are a sovereign people, we're a sovereign nation, and in terms of unity within the movement, the way to do that is to explain to all of those who support the independence notion as a just and as a noble and an honest cause, need to see that there is a route to deliver it, and when Scottish independence is delivered, Scotland will prosper when we're no longer furrowed to the chains of Westminster, not bled dry by Westminster, where we govern ourselves, for ourselves, by ourselves, within our own country, and we spend what we earn in Scotland for the good of the people of Scotland. Bairns not bombs, of course, being our favourite slogan, but in a wider context, Scotland needs to take her place on the world stage as a peaceable, peace-loving nation, not a warmonger, not anybody else's poodle, not any better than anybody else, but not inferior to any other nation in the world. And I look forward with every sinew of my being and every cell within my body and my spirit. I look forward to Independence Day, but that is the beginning of the beginning. The end point is to rebuild our country and create within our country the potential for every citizen here to recognise and understand that they are free and they have free choice, and they don't have to live in poverty, they don't have to be unemployed, they don't have to fall into addictions, they don't have to have a premature unnecessary death. They can live happily and prosper in a country which is proud to stand on our own 2 feet.
I know what I'm doing. I'm clean when I'm moving.
So we're from the Aylshire Foundation. We're based here in Glasgow on Victoria Road. We've come to both support Scottish independence and for raising money for Gaza.
We are the only branch here in Scotland, and we have another branch in England as well. And we try to give awareness about all the projects we do abroad.
We have a massive team in Gaza right now, and actually unfortunately we faced extreme losses there. So many have gone and they've died volunteering, trying to help the people of Gaza. I think it was 400 people so far from our own team that have unfortunately passed away on the job trying to make a difference to humanity.
We had a hospital before, and a lot of facilities being damaged through last year. A lot of warehouses full of food and hygienic things. We are just waiting the first opportunity to be able to deliver it, but the gate been closed since 1st of March. And today I read that one of the hospitals from Kuwait announced it will be the last week for all the medical supplement can last, and we just hoping the border will open.
And I've been on the wave, so you know that I'm fluid. When it comes to the team, I divide even.
I'm Sandy Donaghy. I'm here today collecting money for the Tartan Talkers. You say who? The Tartan Talkers? Well, the Tartan Talkers are the charity that supports prevents male suicide, the biggest killer in Scotland at the moment, male suicide. So we're here to try and prevent it and to support people and to give them a voice and to give them comfort and support during any process they may go through.
What do you think is the thing that sets most people on that kind of course?
It's normally emotional. It can come from various quarters. It certainly come from the state of the world at the moment, and thanks to 24-hour news, people don't know they can switch the telly off, and they sit there watching it hour after hour after hour. I don't think that helps. Plus the financial state of our country at the moment, and distrust in all politicians and governments, especially down south, is causing a great amount of fear amongst the younger generation. They don't see no future. All they see is war, Putin, Ukraine and so on. And so it's a difficult time to be young and have a young family. So we're here to support you.
Open the mind dream and I'm still scheming. I see trophies in the future, maybe even sooner.
Well, the Scottish Resistance are the main protest group in Scotland. We are the only group that go in front and face the people who are ruling us, the Westminster regime. We go in front of the government buildings in Edinburgh and Glasgow. We go in front of Westminster many times to protest. On the 10th anniversary of the referendum, members of the Scottish Resistance went in front of the Westminster Parliament. And believe it or not, we actually get better response from people in England than we do in Scotland. It's unbelievable. It's just unbelievable how indoctrinated and brainwashed the population of Scotland actually are. This is probably the most brainwashed territory on planet Earth. Absolutely everything you do in Scotland, we are conditioned to accept a system, the British system, the British imperialist system. When you think of it though, England is not a full status nation. And that surprises people. When you say to an English person that England is not a full status nation, their brain starts ticking over and say, well, what do you mean? Or have you got a space at the United Nations saying England? No. Well, we don't. England would be a much better country, independent, just like Scotland. Even the poor people of England are on the lowest pension in the modern world. It's an absolute disgrace. Well, these MPs are on fantastic salaries, more or less unlimited expenses, dirty deals, are doing $1 million deals. It's disgusting what's going on. I am 100% for freedom for every country in the world. Every country in this world should be free. We've got to do away with imperialism. No country should rule another. And believe it or not, folks, I've got lots of English people who are members of the Scottish Resistance and have actually received our main certificate, the Guardian of Scotland Award.
In fact, there was a poll, wasn't there, this week? Wasn't it this week or last week, with the English people saying they were not too bothered about the Union anymore?
That's right. That's a good sign. It's time that England gained its identity.
See, there's another thing. I took this up with Colin Bird,
yes.
the National.
Yes.
He hasn't been the editor for quite a while now.
Yeah.
But I also mentioned it to Miss Webster, Laura Webster. But couldn't we do a feature or two about what they would gain if they lost us?
We could do that. See, the trouble is, people like me are not allowed on the media. This is fantastic that I'm getting filmed here. The only media that usually film me are the people from abroad who are very interested, but the Brit media try to avoid speaking to me because I speak a lot of truth, and the Brit media don't want to know. I've made a few good points already today about this unfair union. It's not just unfair to the Scots and the Welsh and the folk in Northern Ireland, it's unfair to the English people, the ordinary English people. They are just the same as us. They've got a low pension, the lowest pension in the modern world, and they end up, that Labour mob get in. It's supposed to be for the working man, and they took the money off the pensioners. Absolutely disgraceful, man.
I'm moving like a rumor, showing how to work. I roll the sleeves up on my shirt, built it from the ground. I had to rise from out the dirt.
Technically I'm not really part of any group, but I've been a follower of the Scottish National Party for a few years, amongst other parties, things like ALBA and whatnot, so I'm kind of just pro-independence all round. I wouldn't really label myself as a specific group or anything as of yet.
And what draws you towards the idea of independence?
So a big thing that kind of drawn to me about independence, one is our national identity and our national heritage. Over the course of the years, it seems like England has been sort of wiping away our national heritage, our history, who we are as a culture. That's kind of more seen all throughout history as well. And I'm talking maybe going right back kind of to our era of kind of like the Union of Crowns and the Protestant Reformation. England and Westminster have always had a kind of a superior complex over the Scots. You see it all the time in the news. When England are talking about Scotland, the mannerism they talk like that we're just nothing to them. We are merely a resource, we are merely a work mule. You know, they have shown no respect or credibility to us. They lied to us in 2014 in the original referendum, so why should we trust them now?
Watch this, I'ma show you how I do it. Like a pro, gotta hustle, get through it. No sweat, look good when I'm moving. I'ma rise, and they salute it. Watch this, I'ma show you how I do it. Like a pro, gotta hustle, get through it. No sweat, look good when I'm moving. I'ma rise, and they salute it.
Jacobites by name, lend an ear, Jacobites by name, lend an ear, ye Jacobites by name, your faults I will proclaim. You're adopted and smuggling. You will hear. You're adopted and smuggling. You will hear. Ye Jacobites by name, lend an ear, ye Jacobites by name, lend an ear. Jacobites by name, your faults I will proclaim. Adopted and smuggling, you will hear, adopted and smuggling, you will hear. What is right and what is wrong, by the law, what is right and what is wrong, by the law. What is right and what is wrong, the short sword and the long, the wicked man is strong, for the draw, wicked man is strong, for the draw. Jacobites by name, lend an ear, Jacobites by name, lend an ear. Jacobites by name, your faults I will proclaim. Adopted and smuggling, you will hear, adopted and smuggling, you will hear. It needs a red stripe, fame the far, what makes it always stripe, fame the far, makes it always stripe, to it the assassin's knife, to haunt a pit and slave with bloody war, bloody war. hear, you all hear, you're daunted and smuggling, you all hear. Thank you.
So, my name's David Herriot. I'm here with my colleague Lindsay on the Project Arbroath stand. So Project Arbroath is a leaflet called How We Take Back Our Independence. It's basically about Scotland's history, how we were dragged into the Union, how we've been treated since then and how we get out of it. There's not a lot of people know that history, and that's why we wrote the book in the first place. Go online, projectarbroath.scot, get your copy, give it to somebody else. That's why we're here.
Thank you. I want to start by thanking all Under One Banner, Hope Over Fear, the Yes groups, the length and breadth of this country that have kept the dream alive. It's not been easy. Over recent years we've seen numbers go down, we've seen turnout diminish, we've all been getting older. Some of us aren't even here today to be able to take part, but the tide is turning. The sun has come out today. More are out today than previously. It'll take us a wee while to get back to the numbers that we had a few years back, but we will get back there. This movement is back because the need is great and the time is now. Tragically, there's one person who would have been here today but is no longer with us. He's that man who took us so close in 2014, who built up our movement. His name will never be forgotten. Say his name, Alex Salmond. But he bequeathed us a legacy. He's bequeathed us a strategy. And I'll come on to that in a minute. Yesterday I was at Grangemouth. 100 years of refinery capacity at Grangemouth, and it's been closed. It opened when they hadn't even discovered the North Sea resource that should have transformed our country. As Jim Sillars used to say, some countries discover oil and make the desert bloom. We've discovered oil and we've seen areas of our land made an industrial desert. That is simply scandalous. The North Sea still has oil and gas, and our people deserve not just the access to the renewables and the resource, they deserve the jobs that should be there, and where now we're seeing redundancies. That's why we need to act. There is going to be no second referendum. The British government, Tory and Labour, have made that clear, and Farage echoes it. The Supreme Court have ruled out the opportunity for us to use it. That doesn't mean we do nothing. What it does mean is we use the strategy that Alec bequeathed us and we take our destiny into our own hands. No more pretty please can we have a second referendum. No more I'll get down on my knees if I get a mandate and I'll ask for a referendum. We're not going to use the referendum. The Supreme Court made it quite clear, as my good friend Angus Brendan McNeill has pointed out, that whilst the Scottish people cannot decide to have their own referendum, they can use a democratic event. The first upcoming democratic event is the 2026 Holyrood elections. That has to be a plebiscite election. That has to be why Scotland uses it to make its declaration of independence and get the mandate ourselves. That's why I've written to John Swinney and the other leaders of independence parties. No more waiting, taking our time down the dead end of a referendum. Put it in your manifesto that you'll view this as a referendum of independence, and if we get a majority, it's a mandate for negotiations, not for continued pleadings. That's what we've got to do. The need is great. Hunger is increasing in our country. Unemployment is rising. It's utterly absurd. We are a rich, wealthy nation. We have resources onshore and off our shores that should see us one of the wealthiest countries in the world. And yet we have people in my former constituency that can see turbines turning off their shores and turbines at the back of them on their hills, and they can't turn on their heating. We are getting no jobs from these renewables. We're seeing the work go elsewhere. That's why we've got to move fast. We've got to move quick before, like the young laddies made redundant at Grangemouth, they have to go and seek a job not south of the border but probably in Saudi Arabia or elsewhere. We've got to get moving again. The time has come. It's a plebiscite election and I'm asking for list vote Alba, list vote for independence and list vote for independence and for Alex Salmond.
I've got some exciting news.
Tell us.
Okay, so Kevin Gibney, who started Academics for Independence, he branched out into doing an organisation called Artists for Independence. And then round about the time where I do this 5 a day, I add 5 indie people a day on Facebook, or like a week, it's now a week now, but it was 5 a day, new indie friends on Facebook. And Kevin Gibney happened to be one of my 5 a day. And he was like, you know, it's really funny that you just added me because I was just thinking of you, because I had recently just done a rap gig with Gasp, who was one of the collaborators for the Unicorn song. And then Kevin says, I was thinking about doing Rappers for Independence. So basically, we started organising a gig which is going to happen about July time at the Rum Shack in Glasgow. And we're getting all the rappers to rap about indie. So we've got about 6-7 acts that are interested, one headline act, Cryptic, who's pretty decent. And we're actually, tonight after James's birthday, because it's James from the Scottish Resistance's birthday tonight, it's his 70th birthday, so after that we're going to go to room 2 and we're going to talent scout, because there's a bunch of artists performing such as Solar Eye, Shell Toe Mel and all that, so we're basically just going to lure them into the cause. Because, why? Because it's the best cause! Because... Yeah,
and it's the next generation that will benefit from all the hard work and everything that's happening. Yeah.
Go on then.
So yeah, the next generation is going to benefit from what Ari was just talking about, Rappers for Independence and Artists for Independence and everything that Ari is doing along with Kevin Gibney, all these good people like that. But I'm Derek Kerr, and I hope to be standing at some point in the not too distant future as an independent for independence. And as the label says, we are all about independence first, nothing more, nothing less. But the people that are candidates, backed by whoever they're going to be backed by, they differ slightly in maybe the way that they're going to do it. So, but then not so much, because a lot of them will be swearing various fealties to various different people. And the way I'll be doing it is I'll be swearing fealty to the sovereign in Scotland, who are the people. The people being the sovereign in Scotland, they can be I can swear my fealty to them through the claim of right. The claim of right is the bedrock of constitutional Scots law. And Scots law is upheld by Article 19 of the Treaty of Union. So when I go into the Privy Council and I'll see they've got a lovely little constitution back there, I think to swear fealty to at the Prism stall over there. So I'll be using the Prism words. I'll be swearing fealty to the Scottish people in the Privy Council, and I'll be when they say, "Oh, you can't do that," I'll be saying, "But well, Article 19 of the Treaty of Union upholds Scots law in perpetuity, and that means the claim of right." So there's 2 countries represented in this Parliament, in this union, Scotland and England, and Ireland was added later. But I'm swearing fealty to the people that have put me down to this Parliament to do their bidding.
I've got some news as well, further news.
Further news, hang on, let's just... Alright, news further.
Yep, further news. 11th of May, Creating Scotland event at the Bonner Hall in Dundee. Leslie Riddick will be speaking, Gordon McIntyre Kemp, other musicians, and myself will be performing. So please come along to that. And I've written an entire independence album called Zeitgeist. So there's like songs like Popularly Sovereign, Democratic Republican, you gotta keep your eyes on the prize.
Crazy shout with lost in the mist, a resilient crowd. Thistles dance in the winds of chance, a quest for autonomy, a spirited dance.
Sing to the ears of the uninformed. We're not sheep, we're unicorns. We're in too deep, it's gone on too long. Show the people we're truly strong. We gotta shout a little louder for the ones still lost at sea. It's a ride from a sea kilby. I believe she can carry us to where we need to be.
Standing in the fire, desire that burns higher. No matter how dire, with the people that never tire. Turn the bass and treble higher. I'm here to raise my frequency, here to raise my consciousness, here to state the obvious, here to raise the service of a country that's lost its confidence. The rest of the world's compliments. Can anybody else see the things that I'm seeing? Can anybody understand the things that I'm meaning? It's only it's only ever you can heal me when I'm breathing. There's nothing you can say to make me stay alive. The woman saying, I'm ready, you know your bridge is burning down. The lion rampant and the unicorn are turning round. You never had us, but you thought you'd stop us setting forth. Now you see the tables turn, heading north. Lesson learned.
Sing to the ears of the uninformed. We're not sheep, we're unicorns. We're in too deep, it's gone on too long.